Alola Pokemon trainers, this is GatorEX and it's time to look to the skies because today we're talking aliens. Before I begin, let me just remind you that you can follow me on Twitter and check out my last video for a sizzling top 5. Now, this is the ultimate Pokemon theory. I've done quite a bit of research and once we begin, there's no going back. There are several Pokemon that have lore rumoring they may have come from space, be based on famous aliens, or that they straight up fell from the sky. In my research, I found some discussions about alien Pokemon, but I want to expand on that and possibly weave it into some lore. Now, there is one thing I want to say before I begin. I originally wrote this main part of the theory long before the release of Sun and Moon, so let me tackle the Sun and Moon Legendaries before any others. Cosmog, Cosmoem, Solgaleo, and Lunala all have Pokedex entries stating that they are believed to originate from and live in another world. Whether this means they are from another planet or from another dimension remains to be discovered. I would assume they're from separate dimensions since Solgaleo and Lunala have the ability to travel between dimensions. Also with the fact that they represent the Sun and Moon respectively, which are seen as equals in mythologies here on Earth exclusively, but in reality they're far from equal. I would assume their connection to the Sun and Moon is more symbolic than anything. And then there's the matter of Necrozma. While Necrozma is vaguely stated to be from another world as well, there are things that align with my original theory, so I'll be discussing it a little more later on. With that established, let me get back to those other psychic Pokemon I alluded to earlier. Basically, these psychic Pokemon may all be related, possibly even subspecies of a psychic race of aliens. From several other pop culture interpretations, we see that some aliens do indeed have psychic powers. Here's something else that ties these Pokemon together. Gems. Deoxys, formerly the most powerful, has a gem-like core and regenerative properties, as do Staryu and Starmie. LGM and Behem both have gem-like structures on their appendages and also learn recover. Lunatone and Solrock seem to be the exception, as neither having anything resembling a gem and they do not learn recover. If they connect to the main race at all, they're the most inorganic. They are at least part rock type, so there's some connection to the gems in that way. Then there's Necrozma, which has just been recently discovered. It shares this gem connection, even having them be its defining trait and the source of its signature move. Since Necrozma is the Prism Pokemon, I would assume it's the leader of, or at least very important to, these alien Pokemon, possibly what gives them the source of their gems. So that's the psychic race of alien Pokemon, but why are the gems so important? Enter Sableye. How does Sableye connect to this alien conspiracy? Well, Sableye is based on a famous alien sighting, the Hopkinsville Goblin. Even though this is only the lore it's based off of, think about it. Does Sableye fit in with the ghost types we know? It barely even fits in with the dark types. Only once in a Pokedex entry has Sableye been said to do anything ghost-like, and supposedly it's just a rumor. What is mentioned often in the Pokedex is Sableye's diet of gems. Is it so hard to believe then that Sableye is part of a dark type race of alien that prey on psychic type gem wielding aliens? Sableye's diet of gems has even caused it to grow gems of its own after all, giving it access to the move Recover. It could make for a great contrast, a race of intelligent aliens at war with a feral race who only want to eat their power source. The typings seem a little unfair, don't they? Now, this is where Clefairy comes in. Clefairy is the classic space Pokemon. Since Generation 1, we've known that they came from space, made a home in Mount Moon, and sang that terrible song. But what was their place in the grand scheme of things? What were they like among the stars and other alien races? Even though Clefairy was originally a normal type, the fact stands that now Cleffa, Clefairy, and Clefable are all fairy types and make up that race of aliens. And with that addition, Sableye, the aforementioned dark type alien race, now has a weakness. Okay, grab your favorite storytime pillow as we piece together this information in some fancy sounding lore. Long ago, in a galaxy far away, there lived a race of hyper-intelligent psychic beings. They possessed regenerative powers through gems that served as their life force. As any other race, they had their enemies. Theirs came in the form of a species of dark-type gem-eating Pokemon known as the Sableye. The psychic types were no match for the Sableye, who were immune to their psychic abilities. They reached out to the Clefairy, a race of peaceful Pokemon who lived on the nearby moons of their planet. The two types joined forces and took a stand against the Sableye, causing them to fall back. In a last-ditch effort, the Sableye escaped to an unknown planet, long before any of the inhabitants could have known of their arrival. Eventually, the psychic aliens and the Clefairy ventured out into new frontiers, some landing on the same planet as the Sableye, and bringing with them Lunatone and Solrock, Pokemon created through their collaborative efforts. The landing was not completely successful. Necrozma, the leader of these Pokemon, crashed into the Earth, leaving it buried underground for years, unbeknownst to the others. In a new world and without a leader, they adapted to their new planet and became known as Pokemon of the Earth. Anyway, that's just about the end of this Pokemon theory detailing the alien Pokemon and their possible origins. Of course, this was just a theoretical look at how they might connect to each other, so feel free to share this theory and give any suggestions you might have. Now again, like I said, I wrote this long before the release of Sun and Moon and tried to adapt it, so I don't know how well it turned out. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below and we can continue the discussion down there. Also remember to leave a like to show your support and subscribe if you'd like to stick around for new videos. Enabling notifications by clicking the little bell icon next to the subscribe button will make sure that you see each new video as it's posted. Anyway, this has been GatorEX. Have a nice day.